everybody! What's going on, everybody? This Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. Joe Biden offers up the world a parting gift of World War III on his way out the door. Because, you know, if there's one thing we got to make sure we do, it is keep the defense contractors well-fed and happy. Also, Donald Trump wins again in the state of New York as his ridiculous case in New York has been permanently adjourned. So much winning, I can't even take it anymore. The Associated Press continues to lay off staff in this media, dare I say, bloodbath. Elon Musk rakes in even more money as all of the companies that tried to boycott him before are now coming back around the mountain because they always do. And I'm going to show you one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my entire life at the end of the show today. Make sure you keep it locked right in here for all of that good stuff. Shout out to everybody watching all over the place, wherever you may be watching. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, AC Knight. How are you? Ha ha! I just got some. Why do I look so tan? Why do I look so tan all of a sudden? What the hell's going on with these lights? What the hell? I just got some spectacular news. Some spectacular news. Upstate New York, here I come. Upstate New York, here I come. Giddy up, let's go. Ha ha ha! Yes! Yes, before we get started today, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Oh, yeah, I love starting the day off with spectacular news. Hold on, I have to, I got to, do something real quick. Give me 1 second. Giddy up, let's go. What's going on? Live chat, how are you guys? I like starting my day. I am glowing. I just got great news. So, if you live in upstate New York, giddy up, let's go. Hello, Marissa, how are you? Thank you for always retweeting the show, as always. Let's see. Just leave it alone. Yeah, you guys will find out soon enough. Just got great news. Phenomenal news. Some people might call it spectacular news. Somebody's watching me. How are you? Hazel Kitty, how are you? Nancy, how are you? Vintage Lulu Gal, what's happening? I live in downstate New York, says Mr. Shy. Well, there's always good news coming out of here. Make sure you guys keep it locked in here. We're going to be starting off our activism here in about a week and a half or so. So if you guys are in the New York, New Jersey area, make sure you keep it locked right in here. ZBM wants to know if I'm pregnant. No, I'm not. Thank you. I can't tell you the news yet, Arrow Pink. Can't tell you. But you may be coming up to upstate New York as well. Let's dive right into the news of the day, because at the moment, Donald Trump just keeps on winning, and we can't even stand it. Are you guys getting tired of winning it? As a New York judge adjourns the Donald Trump hearing without explanation. This from Fox News. Donald Trump's sentencing for the 34 criminal charges in the state of New York was abruptly adjourned by the court on Tuesday without explanation, giving the presiding judge additional time to weigh how to proceed. The delayed sentencing came on the same day as District Attorney Alvin Bragg was slated to file a recommendation to Judge Juan Marchand on how to proceed. Because it turns out nobody has any idea what the hell they're doing here. You know why? Because this entire case was, as some might say, baloney. It was just crap from beginning to end. Trump was, of course, convicted in May on 34 counts of falsifying business records, stemming from a case about payments made to Stormy Daniels, who still owes him an ungodly amount of money, by the way, which could have landed him in a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison. But the presidential race and Trump victory had thrown the timeline for court proceedings into a fog of uncertainty. The presiding judge in the case, Judge Juan Marchand, granted the request from prosecutors earlier this month to stay all deadlines associated in the Trump case, including a planned sentencing for next week. But in the wake of Donald Trump's victory, people seem to not know which way is up. Quote, the people have agreed these are unprecedented circumstances, says prosecutor Matthew Colangelo, said in the request, which he added would allow for prosecutors to better evaluate the impact of his election, as President Trump's attorneys have pushed to vacate the charges against him completely. Also, backed the stay. The U.S. Supreme Court, of course, said that the presidents have the presumption of immunity from criminal prosecutions in most actions taken as president. Are you getting tired of winning yet, everybody? Are you getting tired of winning just yet? Yep, only a matter of time till they drop these charges. Let's see, what else is there? So Jack Smith, he's moving to close out all of his charges and his prosecutions of Donald Trump. Judge Juan Marchand in New York continues to push this back, considering nobody knows how to proceed. And has anybody heard from Fani? It's Fanny, like your ass. Willis, down in Georgia. I don't know. She's been hiding under a rock or under another assistant district attorney. Nobody's seen or heard from her, and I couldn't tell you how long. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a damn shame? So much winning for Donald Trump, I can't even stand it. But we knew this would happen. We knew that the Trump victory would lead to this, and how did we know that? Well, the cases were always crap to begin with. Throw them out. Why the hell not? Throw them out. Giddy up. Let's go. Giddy up. Let's go, baby. I am excited. Only a matter of time until people figure out what they need to know or what they don't know or what they do know about what they don't know. Either way, it's all over. Basically all over. They're just running out the clock. And I'm excited about it. Giddy up. Let's go. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. We're going to get to Joe Biden's parting gift. We're going to get to Joe Biden's parting gift for the world in just 1 second. Because, of course, Joe Biden can't leave office without setting the world ablaze. Can't do that. Can't do that. Before we get to that, guys,
the biggest benefit, honestly, has been with my skin. Skin was more hydrated, more radiant.
This is the best superfood that you could take.
It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
I used to have a probiotic, a green juice. I replaced it all with this Arma colostrum. It is amazing.
You gotta take it.
If you want to try it, try arma.com.
Guys, start feeling better with the superfood formula over at tryarmra.com/LFATV. That is tryarmra.com/LFATV to get 15% off your first order, guys. Look, you're not getting the nutrients you need. Let's be honest here. Guys, head on over to tryarmra.com. Guys, that's tryarmra.com/LFATV. That's tryarmra.com/LFATV. Sorry about that. I got an important text there for a minute. I really don't know what the hell's going on with the color today. Maybe it's the blue shirt. I don't really know. But let's move on, because Joe Biden has decided to usher in World War III on his way out the door, as the Biden administration authorizes Ukraine to use long-range U.S. weapons into Russia. What could possibly go wrong here? as Donald Trump enters the White House trying to broker a peace between Ukraine and Russia, the Biden administration and people like Jake Sullivan on their way out the door are doing everything they possibly can to ramp this up in order to stop any sort of possible peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Now, look, I've long said, I don't care about Russia. I don't care about Ukraine. I don't care about the Donbass region. I don't care about Crimea. I want people to stop dying because war should be the absolute last possible thing. Now, should Russia have invaded? Absolutely not. But any person out there who is trying to offer up some idea that Ukraine is going to get their land back, including Crimea, is, and I mean this in the kindest possible way, smoking crack. It's just never going to happen. So what are the possible options here? Either we continue to funnel money into an overseas boondoggle that is only going to escalate and only going to get worse, or we try to figure out a way to get it to stop. And for all the people out there calling people like me, oh, you're just like Chamberlain, you're appeasing a dictator. Guys, you got to find a different reference. You have to find a different reference. One has nothing to do with the other. Moreover, the Germans and the rest of the EU don't seem to be doing a whole hell of a lot in order to broker the peace either. So, naturally, it's up to the United States. Because whenever there's a problem anywhere in the world, it's like the entire United Nations goes, oh, there's a famine? Oh, there's a tsunami? Oh, there's a war breaking out. There's a dictator somewhere. America, you'll handle this, right? And then they have the audacity to get mad at us for handling it in the way we see fit. Donald Trump has been the most anti-war president we've had, in the very least in my lifetime, but I'm sure in many of your lifetimes as well. It is time to bring peace to the world. So, naturally, the warmongers on their way out the door are doing everything they possibly can to ramp up tensions. President Joe Biden, when he's not stumbling off into the woods like he did yesterday, has authorized Ukraine to use powerful long-range American weapons inside of Russia, according to two U.S. officials familiar with the decision, as North Korean troops deploy in the support of Moscow's efforts. The decision comes as Moscow has deployed nearly 50,000 troops to Kursk, the southern Russian region where Kiev launched its surprise counteroffensive in the summer to prepare to take back the territory. The weapons are intended to be used primarily in Kursk for now, a U.S. official said. With its high troop advancement there, Russia is trying to take Kursk off the table as a potential bargaining chip for the Ukrainians in any potential peace talks. Something that the U.S. does not want to see. And the idea is to help Ukraine hold Kursk as long as possible, the official said. Thousands of North Korean troops have deployed to the region as part of Russia's offensive, sparking concern over the Biden administration and his advisors that their entry could lead to a dangerous new phase of the war. The decision will allow the Army's tactical missile systems, or ATACMs, inside of Russia has been under consideration for months, and the American officials have been divided on the wisdom of allowing the new capability. Some had concerns about escalating the war, while others were worried about dwindling stockpiles of weapons. Yeah, because it turns out if you start bombing Moscow, the Russians are going to respond. Why wouldn't they respond? But alas, nobody seems to look that far down the aisle, that far into the future, that maybe allowing this to happen in this particular time is not the best course of action. But hell, what do I know? I'm but a peasant. I am but a peasant in the warmongering sense. It's absolutely unbelievable. The fact that we have, and this is a broader point, the fact that we have these long, drawn-out lame duck sessions in Congress where, like, people who are no longer elected, well, I guess they're technically elected, but people who have lost, who are not in power anymore, still have decision-making capabilities for like 2.5 months after an election is insane. In Britain, when they have an election, the person moves in the next day, and then their government takes over. I don't really know why we can't do that. Instead, Congress will go back for about a month, despite the fact that many of them are not in office anymore. Either they lost their primary, or they lost in the general. Bob Casey of Pennsylvania, who still refuses to concede, technically still has a vote, despite the fact that the American people have made it very, very clear that we do not want you anymore. Please be gone with you. I know you're one of those moderate Democrats that, or you say you are, that still exists in the world, but we have made it very loud and clear that your version of the world just doesn't work for us. Yet he still has voting capabilities for like 2.5 months. It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. Guys, we're going to move on because there is so much that I want to get to today. Before we get to all of that, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Let's get the live chat up. AC Knight, how are you? Siobhan, how are you? Very nice to see you. Very nice. Kim Fields, what's happening? Jay Lee, what's going on over there in the Rumble chat? Jean Marie, what's happening? Green Broccoli. Always good to see you guys in the chat. Aaron, how are you? How are you? Make sure wherever you guys are watching, if you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor, hit that @ button, and then followers should come up. That way, more people get the show. If you're watching on X, whether it's the LFA one or on mine, make sure you retweet this post so that more people can get it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. And, of course, if you're watching on Rumble, rumble this. Giddy up. Let's go. Giddy up. Let's go, guys. So, people continue to have their utter and complete media freakout over the Donald Trump victory. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you some people that actually get it, some people that have actually figured out what all is going on, and I'm sure it's going to be the people that you can think. I'm sure it's going to be the people that you'll think of. But some people still have not come to grips with the fact that Donald Trump has been given a mandate. Donald Trump goes into office with the ability to do virtually whatever he wants because that's what the American people told him. Now, some people out there have not yet figured this out. Naturally, that one person, and I think we're really lucky on this front. I think we're really lucky that not only do we get to see Ana Navarro on The View every day, but we also get to see her pontificating about nonsense on CNN. Here she is, not understanding how government works, or how elections work, or how mandates work.
If Republican senators do not capitulate on their duty to advise and consent, and they conduct vigorous hearings where these folks are questioned,
the only people that have said
and then they vote their conscience. Right. We shouldn't be having this conversation.
But I can also tell you this. You asked a question about John Thune and whether or not what I believed about John Thune. I'll tell you this.
No, I didn't ask you that. I've known John Thune for 20 years.
I know John Thune too. I worked for him.
I think he's an institutionalist.
Yes.
And I think he's a good guy. And I hope that he will conduct himself as the new leader of the Senate and be ethical.
This is one thing
he's
that
always been.
MAGA doesn't understand about why John Thune was such a great selection is that he understands how the Senate works. He knows these rules and procedures. He knows what it takes to run the clock on a nomination. Listen, if Democrats want to make it painful and never get home to see their districts or their families, they can run the clock on every nomination. It also eats up floor time in order to get the agenda done. that Donald Trump was elected to do on behalf of the American people. If Democrats want to jam the floor of the United States Senate and ultimately have a fire alarm pulled because they're unwilling to do both of their jobs, which are nominations and not jam up the floor, and they want to run the clock,
throw their hands
or
up in
they
the
go
air.
to the legislative
Listen,
calendar.
Democrats cannot throw their hands up in the air.
Then they run the clock and they stop the
they
American
can't
people
throw
from
their-
getting the
okay, let me
agenda
just
they
say
want
this.
done. That's
You're gonna
exactly
see
what
that
you're saying.
not even Mitch
Having worked in the
McConnell
United
is going.
States Senate, I can tell you this.
Mitch McConnell.
They will
who had-
run
Can
the
may I
clock.
speak? Mitch
You can,
McConnell,
but
who
you-
had
You want to
okay,
speak?
who had
Finish your thought
polio,
and then let's go.
who had polio. I have a hard time thinking that Mitch McConnell, who had polio and knows the benefit of those vaccines and eradicating those diseases that almost wiped out children, would throw his hands up in the air and say, "Oh, it's RFK."
Everyone, let's appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Anderson Cooper, way to lose control of your panel there. Shout out to you know what? I'm gonna start that over again, real quick.
If Republican senators do not capitulate.
Shout out to my friend Joe Pinion there, who has the patience of a saint to be able to sit next to Ana Navarro and not lose his mind. I am jealous of you, Joe, that you get to sit there and go, and I don't want to say go after, because that wouldn't be nice. Rebut the stupidity of a morning talk show host who wants to talk about polio as if she has any idea what the hell she's talking about. Now, that's an example of someone who clearly doesn't get what happened in this election. Now, one should not be surprised that Ana Navarro does not get this. However, someone who is starting to realize it, someone on the left who is usually, had in the last 20, 25 years, been the first Democrat out of the gate to understand his own electorate, is Jon Stewart.
The election that we just had was a repudiation of the status quo. An overly regulated system that is no longer responsive or delivering for the needs of the people or their beloved beheaded squirrels. Oh, R.I.P. Peanut. Government is theoretically a constitutional system of checks and balances between equally powerful branches. But what government actually is an overly complicated Byzantine bureaucratic maze of rules, loopholes to those rules, and norms.
Exactly. That is what this election was all about. Jon Stewart gets it now. I want to be clear. Jon Stewart this is the same Jon Stewart that sat around before the election and continued to parrot the ridiculous line of fascism and Donald Trump is going to be the end of democracy and all this crap. But it's nice to see that someone on the left can at least acknowledge what went wrong here. Of course, he's not the only one. He is not the only one that is understanding that the Democrats have a very, very, very serious problem on their hands, and it's going to come from an unlikely source, a rather unlikely source. Before we get to that, though, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog
Whoa,
beds.
whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. So, somebody who actually gets it, somebody who actually has their head outside of their ass when it comes to the way average people are operating, when it comes to what everyone is thinking out loud, would of course, would it be a CNN commentator? Would it be an MSNBC host? Would it even be a left-wing political comedian like Bill Maher or Jon Stewart? No, when Democrats need to figure out which way is up, they should always look to the former power forward for the Houston Rockets, Charles Barkley.
And I just want to say this to the Democrats, which I'm an independent who voted Democratic. Do me this favor. Shut the up. When you win, you get to say what you want to. When you lose, you need to shut the hell up. Oh, President Biden they didn't get him out the race soon enough. Kamala didn't do this. We lost because we had no game plan. We still haven't solved the immigration problem, have no viable answers, never addressed inflation, bringing all these stupid stars out to rally the vote. What was that? Hey, I love Beyonce. What's bringing her out? That ain't gonna make me vote a certain way. Cardi B, I like Cardi B. That ain't gonna make me vote a certain type of way. You guys lost because y'all stupid.
See, Charles Barkley gets it, so I don't know why they don't get it. You lost because you're stupid. Now, I know people in the chat will say, oh, Charles Barkley's a Democrat. He voted for Kamala. You're right. But regardless of who Charles Barkley voted for, he's still the funniest person on television, left, right, and center. Doesn't even matter. And if you watch Inside the NBA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's just funny. He's just a funny guy. Love Charles Barkley. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. I could play you Charles Barkley clips until the end of time. Him making fun of women in San Antonio. Him making fun of Jesse Smollett. It's just funny. It's just funny. But Chuck gets it. I don't know why they don't get it. Yet, some people are continuing to parrot the line. The Hitler line. In just a minute, I'm going to show you guys a clip from, my new favorite person on television, Scott Jennings, over on CNN, who, I'm telling you, if the media gods came down and said, Kevin, what do you want your number one job to be? It would be to be Scott Jennings on CNN. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. He's having way too much damn fun. Listen to Scott Jennings, who actually talks to normal human beings. Listen to the way he interacts with some college professor that read a book, so now he knows everything about the world.
I'm amazed. I did not expect Hitler to get so many meeting requests. First from Joe Biden, now from Mika and Joe. It's amazing that literal Hitler is getting all these meeting requests. And what it tells me, Professor, is that all the rhetoric that came from the left, from the Democrats, from the White House, from Kamala Harris and everyone else before the election, all of the rhetoric, the fascism, the Hitler, the Nazi rally, it was all a bunch of BS. They didn't mean any of it. And if I were in the Democrat sort of rabble's shoes, I would be looking at all my leaders and going, did you just BS me for an entire 6 weeks before the election?
I just reread Hannah Arendt's The Origins of Totalitarianism. And I cannot tell you how relevant it is to today. What has gone on in totalitarian regimes before is what is happening in this country right now. It is fascism. His generals called him fascist. Joe Scarborough called him fascist. And now the fascist is in charge. And it is journalism's job to cover it that way, not to back off and say, okay, well, that's it, we lost. Let the fascism happen. No.
Guys, keep trying this. Keep trying it. It didn't work last time. Well, Mr. College Professor that no one's ever heard of, he read a book written by somebody who is a political philosopher during Nazi Germany. And yes, everyone has read that book before, and it's a very good book. However, there is no prelude to the origins of totalitarianism. There isn't a 50-year lead up with neoliberal and neoconservative principles and policies that led to that. I went over it on the show yesterday. Donald Trump is putting people in place. Putting people in place. Who are outside the realm. Who are outside of the establishment. Why? Because it is the same sort of establishment type people that got us into this problem in the first place. I have virtually no problem with any of Donald Trump's picks. I'm not too thrilled with Marco Rubio, but as I said, you're not going to get every one of them you like. To my mind, I like the fact that he wants to put Bobby Kennedy in. I like the Matt Gaetz pick. I like his most recent pick, which we'll get to in a second, as Donald Trump appoints or nominates former Wisconsin Rep. Sean Duffy to be the Secretary of Transportation. Now, many people are saying, what the hell does Sean Duffy know about transportation? My question to them would be, what the hell did Pete Buttigieg know about it? It turns out male breastfeeding is not part of the job. Duffy served as a member of the House Financial Services Committee while he was a member of Congress. Is he an unorthodox pick? Sure. I love that people are besmirching him because he was once on a season of The Real World. First off, that was, 25 years ago. But since then, he's done some things. He's been a member of Congress. He's been a host on Fox Business. And soon he will be the Secretary of Transportation. Trump said, Sean has been a tremendous and well-liked public servant. Starting his career as the Assistant District Attorney for Ashland, Wisconsin, he was later elected to the U.S. House of Representatives to represent Wisconsin's 7th Congressional District, Trump said in an announcement on Monday. Sean will use his experience and relationships he's built over the years in Congress to maintain and rebuild the nation's failing infrastructure and fulfill our mission of ushering in the golden age of American travel, focusing on safety, efficiency, and innovation. Importantly, he will greatly elevate the travel experience of all Americans. And if you've been at the airport in the last, 10 years, you know that sucks, particularly if you're a New Yorker. I waited online for 3 hours at 6 o'clock in the morning at Kennedy. Why did I have to do that? Great question. I guess I'll probably never get the answer to that. We all know TSA is a complete and utter farce to give people the illusion of safety without ever actually having to provide that. As anybody knows, who has accidentally brought something on a plane that they shouldn't have, which I'm sure many people have done. God forbid I go onto a plane with a bottle of toothpaste that is above the limit, or shampoo. I don't know what I'm going to do with shampoo on a plane, but you can't bring that on. You can bring a rangefinder inside of a Trump rally, no problem. But if my bottle of cologne is over 3.8 ounces or whatever the hell the number is, obviously I've got to throw that away in terms of safety. And God forbid I don't take my shoes off because one asshole 20 years ago decided to put a bomb inside of it. And who doesn't love the aggressive pat down for absolutely no reason when you walk through the little magnetometer with your hands up? We got to start fixing these real problems in the country. Obviously, that's not at the top of the list. Who doesn't love a good rub down at the airport at 6:30 in the morning when you're probably wearing sweatpants? But let's be honest here. A lot of it seems like a facade. A wasted facade, by the way. I don't know. I think we could probably fix the TSA just by getting rid of the waste. Elon, Vivek, get on top of that one. Another pick that Donald Trump has just put forth would be Howard Lutnick, who is expected to be named the Commerce Secretary. He is the leader of Cantor Fitzgerald and took over the company when the company lost hundreds of employees after the World Trade Center fell. Actually, someone I knew very well, whose brother worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Howard Lutnick is expected to be named the president-elect as the Commerce Secretary. Lutnick, who spoke at the RNC and led the financial services company in the dark days after September 11th, when they lost hundreds of employees, including his own brother, when the World Trade Center fell, has been an outspoken proponent of Trump's leadership. Punchbowl News' Jake Sherman reported that Lutnick is expected to be named, though it has not been made official yet. Lutnick was rumored to be under consideration for the Treasury Secretary, but Commerce seems to be where he's going to land. He's also been part of President Trump's transition team, serving as the co-chair since August. He is now part of a team. He has been part of the team to pick the cabinet appointments. The cabinet, of course, includes Bobby Kennedy, Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Kristi Noem, Sean Duffy, Lee Zeldin. What up, Lee? Very exciting about that. For those of you who are looking to find out a little bit about Howard Lutnick, let's pop this up on the screen real quick, because obviously he's not a name people have really heard of before. Most people aren't familiar with Cantor Fitzgerald, but here he is. Give me 1 second. And of course it's a oh, nope, wrong button. Here is Howard Lutnick.
And of course it's a bargaining chip. We can't sell a Ford or GM in Europe. You go to Europe, you can't sell a Ford or GM. Why? There's 100% tariffs. How about in Japan? 100% tariffs. So do you think if we said, we're going to tariff you the way you tariff us, do you think they're going to allow Mercedes and all these Japanese companies and Porsches and BMWs to all of a sudden have 100% tariffs in America? Of course not. They're going to come and negotiate, and their tariffs are going to come down. And finally, Ford and General Motors are going to be able to sell in these places.
How's that sound, Andrew? That sounds...
Of course they're going to come down. Of course. This is just negotiating.
It absolutely makes sense. If you do it strategically, if it's across the board, it creates a real problem. And the question is whether you believe the president is going to do it strategically or across the board. He keeps saying it across the board.
Well, when you're running for office, you make broad statements so people understand you. Right. Okay? Tariffs are an amazing tool by the president to use. They're an amazing tool, but he understands, don't tariff stuff we don't make. Right? If we don't make it and you want to buy it, I don't want to put the price up there. It's pointless. But use tariffs to build in America. If we want to make it in America, tariff it. Or if we're competing with it, tariff it. But you got to remember, we need to protect the American worker. Finally, someone's going to protect the American worker. And Donald Trump is here to protect the American worker.
Do you think we make a lot of money in tariffs? Or if they're used as negotiating tactics, look, tariffs will come down there. We're not going to have super high tariffs here either. There's not going to be a big pot of money at the end of the day.
I love that story. So which is it? Do we make a lot of money on tariffs, or we bring productivity here and we drive up our workers here? So it's a win-win scenario. I like both of them. I think what's going to happen is we'll make a bunch of money on the tariffs, but mostly everybody else is going to negotiate with us, and we will be more fair. In 1948, right, we came up with something called the Marshall Plan, right? The world, Germany and Japan were destroyed after World War II, and we wanted to export our economy to them. So we made a rule. They could tariff us, and we won't tariff them. So they can rebuild. This is the
best explanation I've heard of.
So they can rebuild their economy. We rebuilt their economy using something called the Marshall Plan. Yeah. Our economy is so awesome that we'll use it to help you rebuild. When should that have ended? What do you think, 1980? Right? 1985? I mean, why 40 years are Japan and Germany and all of Europe still tariffing the heck out of our auto industry, tariffing the heck out of our furniture industry? Do you realize all your furniture you're buying that's made foreign? It seems crazy. Why? It's because they tariff us. and we don't tariff them. It's so obvious.
That is the best case I've heard made so far for tariffs. Clear, concise, to the point. And I'm excited he's going to be the person in charge of that tariff policy under the new administration. Guys, we're going to keep rocking and rolling here because I do have a lot more that I want to get to. Before we do that, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Make sure you're retweeting it. Share the URL out. Let's see how big we can get today. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Giddy up, let's go. Let's pop this live chat up onto the screen. Christine, how are you? Mike Owens, how are you? Mike Tenney, how are you? Tim Huff, what's happening? Tim, we got to talk. I think I'm headed up your way. I think I'm going to be headed up your way soon. Giddy up, let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sassy lady, what's happening? Kelly from San Diego, what's going on? Love San Diego. Look, California sucks, but San Diego is phenomenal. Pacific Beach is literally my favorite place on planet Earth. I love Pacific Beach. Everyone there is good looking. Everybody on PB is good looking. That is an unquestionable fact. That is an unquestionable fact. I'm on my way. I was actually in San Diego a couple years ago. I went to Petco Field. It was very nice there for a Mets. I went there for a Mets-Padres game. It was very, very nice. Mel, what's happening? How are you? Let's dive right in. So I've been kind of quiet on this for the last couple of days, and it's, you know, to me, this is a kind of personal thing, as I've said before. I am friends with Matt Gaetz, and I wanted to see where the dust would begin to settle on his nomination. Obviously, I hope that he is made Attorney General. I think he would do an absolutely phenomenal job at it. But as you've seen so far, all the right people hate this pick, and that's why I like it. All the right people are pissed off about it. Kevin McCarthy hates it, and Mitch McConnell hates it, and the old guard hates it. They try to smear him. They go up, down, and sideways about all this crap. But finally, we are starting to see some House Republicans and Senate Republicans come out in favor of the pick. Markwayne Mullins came out in favor of it. Many senators have come out in front of it. And I think that this is a real test of not loyalty to President Trump, but loyalty to the movement. Because what these cabinet appointments show me are people who are loyal to the movement, loyal to the cause moving forward. And people like Anna Paulina Luna, of course, fall in that category.
This is the same testimony that was, again, dropped by the DOJ and the FBI because these people were not credible. And I will say that for the senators that are coming forward and stating that they need to read this testimony, let's look into these people's stocks portfolios and how they're becoming multimillionaires off of $175,000 a year. The reason why people want outsiders, the reason why people are not buying this Gaetz smear campaign, and that is exactly what it is because of the fact that they understand that there is a two-tier justice system. You know, you mentioned earlier that I do think the DOJ is corrupt. Absolutely. When I find that they're giving special treatment to the Attorney General, that he doesn't have to testify to Congress yet. If any single other American does that, they go to jail. That is absolutely government corruption. But when you're then talking about cabinet picks, you're talking about an ethics investigation. I mean, I'm pretty sure Matt Gaetz has also been investigated for misuse of campaign funds that were also dropped. So the fact is that Matt Gaetz has, again, time and time again, stood up to the swamp. Frankly, I know him as a person. I know his family. And I've been able to be privy to the conversations behind closed doors of members looking forward to this leaked ethics report because they know that it's going to smear him. I'm not going to state who the members are, but what I will state is that that type of behavior, putting this forward to the American people, smearing Matt Gaetz's reputation, and then also undercutting the credibility of President Trump, who, again, the American people trust to lead this nation, I'm not going to play that game.
I'm not playing that game. Giddy up, Anna Paulina Luna. Because as everybody knows, Matt Gaetz has a long history of going after the people on the ethics committee, considering the best way to piss off the people in Washington, D.C., is to go after the Ethics Committee, which Matt has repeatedly done. Why? Because many members of the Ethics Committee, as Anna Paulina Luna said, repeatedly trade stocks. One member, I wish I could find this video real quick. Damn, I wish I could find this video. One member of the House Ethics Committee bought $100,000 worth of Raytheon stock on the exact day that Russia invaded Ukraine, knowing damn well America was going to spend $200 billion on that boondoggle. Another member of the House Ethics Committee has used his position on the Ethics Committee and his position as a member of Congress to get himself out of not one, not two, but possibly 3 DWIs. Don't worry. We all know it. I believe the first one was House member Rutherford from Florida 11. I believe that's who that was. You go after the wrong people in Hollywood. Excuse me. You go after the wrong people in the House, and they will come after you, just as we have continued to say over and over and over again. That's why they hate Matt Gaetz. That's why people like Kevin McCarthy hate Matt Gaetz, because Matt Gaetz ousted him, gave him the... Oh, here it is. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Before we get to that, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA-TV related. Check out the LFA-TV store. And while you're there, guys, consider becoming a monthly donor over at lfatv.us. It's lfatv.us. So here was Matt Gaetz going after members of the Ethics Committee, you know, the same people who are currently investigating him for things that the FBI already dropped. Check this out.
Congressman Gaetz offered to take us on a tour.
So one of the committees where people have a lot of information is the Appropriations Committee, because they can view almost any vector of government funding. And so, you know, this is Mr. Rutherford's office. He's on the Ethics Committee and the Appropriations Committee. 152 stock trades. Stocks go through the roof. And, actually bought Raytheon stock the day that Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if every American could make money off of war.
Yeah, setting aside the whole shame and ethics questions. How many more on our hit list here?
There are a few more. I wish there were fewer on the hit list. I wish we could only stop at 1 or 2 offices, but as it turns out, energy is a sector that sees a lot of congressional stock trading. Sure. And we have members who are on the Energy Subcommittee of Appropriations, like Michael Guest, chairman of the Ethics Committee, and he's traded somewhere between tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in energy stocks. He's been buying online gaming stocks and just making a killing on them. So you would think that the people that were on the Ethics Committee would be your best allies in this fight, but indeed they're some of the most prolific traders. And not only trading, but in the case of Mr. Guest, trading in an area where he has access to energy information more so than almost any other American.
And no indication that he wants to maybe slow down, pump the brakes, recognize that there might be some appearance of impropriety here?
It seems as though the pace is only accelerating.
All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine why people hate him. I can't imagine why people hate him. What a thought. What an absolute thought. Guys, we're going to keep moving and grooving here because there is some more stuff that I want to make sure that I get to. Obviously, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun with the Trump Shuffle, as the Trump Shuffle has now made its way into American soccer. Which I'm super excited about for a number of reasons, not only because this is one of my favorite soccer players in the world, but soon he'll be playing for my boys over in Liverpool. Before we get to that, guys, hit the thumbs up button, share the video out all over the place, rocking and rolling, guys. Let's pop this one up onto the screen, guys. Head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter, check out our shop. This is quickly becoming our most popular t-shirt. I want to make that very clear. This is the new one. You guys, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. You can see we are the loud majority on the pocket, as well as the Trump 47 on the back. You guys are going to want to pick that up while supplies last, guys. Head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. Use promo code LFA to get 20% off everything on the website, guys. And while you're there, consider becoming a monthly donor to the Loud Majority. I just got some phenomenal news. Turns out I might be traveling very, very soon for one very, very important person. So I could use all the help I can get, and I do appreciate the support as always. So last night, this is one of those stories that I know none of you actually care about, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I like it. Last night, the U.S. men's national soccer team played Jamaica in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Cup, which means nothing to any of you because none of you watch soccer, except for me. However, there is a forward on the U.S. men's national team who is a top player in the world. His name is Christian Pulisic. He is easily the best American soccer player we've ever had, and you guys know I'm a big fan of international competitions, particularly when America does well. Well, he scored a goal last night against Jamaica and had a little bit of fun afterwards.
Kelly over the top, lovely ball for Pulisic. It's Christian Pulisic. It's absolutely delightful from the United States, and Christian Pulisic has the early goal.
It's taking off, baby. Oh yeah. That is going to be the new celebration for all people who want to have themselves a little bit of fun. Guys, I got two more stories that I want to get to. One is going to blow your mind, and the other one is really going to blow your mind. Once again, guys, before we do that, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to that 300 Rumble mark by the end of the show. Let's see if we can get to that by the end of the show. Let's see here. Where you going to, Kevin? We always support you. Absolutely. Well, I might be going upstate New York, so we shall see. We shall see, guys. So a new poll came out. You know what, Chad? I'm going to ask you this question. Let me get this up there. A new poll came out asking Democrats who they're going to support in the 2028 presidential race. Chat, who do you think landed the top spot on here? I'm going to give the chat time to catch up. Who do you think landed the top spot on the most recent poll of who Democrats will be supporting if the 2028 primary were held today? Who do you think it's going to be? I'm curious to get the chat's take on this because I can promise you almost none of you are going to get this right. Almost none of you are going to get this one right. Let's let the chat build a little bit. We've got Gavin Newsom. Let's see, who is it? Oh, wow. Some people are actually getting it right. Some people are actually getting it right. Let's see, chat. Let's see. Who do we got here? We got Kamala. We got Schumer. We got Fetterman. That's an interesting pick. Let's see. Who do we got here? Obama. He can't run. Guys, come on. Joe Biden. Well, I'm going to showing you the Democrats have learned absolutely nothing from their crushing defeat over the weekend. It turns out coming in at the very top with 41%. Kamala Harris takes the cake. Thank God. Thank God. Democrats have learned absolutely nothing. Tim Walz, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, there are literally... There's one name on this list that actually worries me. One name that actually worries me. And it is Governor Wes Moore of Maryland. The only person there that actually worries me. Showing me that Democrats have learned absolutely nothing. Which I'm all for. I think it's time for us to continue to be unburdened by what has been and run it back in 2028. I can't wait. Guys, here, you know what? I'm going to save these next two stories for tomorrow because we are quickly running out of time here, and I want to make sure I give them their due. Because one of them is just gonna set you on fire. You guys won't believe this. A woman in Georgia is facing a year in prison. For you guys ready for this? Y'all ready for this? For letting her 10-year-old son go to the store alone. That's a real story, and I can't believe I even have to tell it to you. But we're gonna go over that tomorrow because I mean, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? Guys, we're going to wrap up. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. Make sure you head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. Use promo code LFA to get 20% off everything on the website. That's promo code LFA to get 20% off everything on the website. Guys, Will Johnson and the Culture Wars is coming up next. Until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.